What is up, Starfleet? Hello, all my beautiful people. Give me just a second. I want to get a sip of my drink of my water. And then I'm going to get into this week's Breaking the Cage. I know it's like a super giant jug, but I love this super giant jug. That's just the way it works for me. I go big or I go home. All right, this is Breaking the Cage with Astrology TV from the Matrix Mind Media. And I am LSF, otherwise known as the Shaman. That's what Matt always calls me, or Bells. And my real name is Michelle Espinosa as well. But this is for May 29th through June 4th. Now, let me slow everybody down as I get into this week, because it's one of the main things I'm getting from Spirit is, start to slow down some. Because we've had the eclipse, then the eclipse, you have had Mercury retrograde, you've had Mars move, you've had Venus move, you've had Mercury retrograde move from one sign to another. It's just been, all over the place. And Spirit is like, okay, people, y'all need to slow down and start actually paying attention to your thinking process. And there's a reason for that, because for one, with Venus moving into Taurus, this is going to start to shift the manifestation into super big, fast speeds. But before I get into any and everything that I have written out for you, and I'm going to start going over the astrology, a little bit of the blueprint, and what Spirit has to tell everybody, I want to first make just a couple announcements, because I always try to remind everybody, you can book your own personal readings with me, or your astrology or blueprints. You can do that, as well as I make essential oils, orgone, and all kinds of other things. And that stuff, you can get all of that at my Etsy shop. And I try to remind everybody when I do the beginning of this show that if you go on to the Matrix Mind, if you go on to my Etsy shop, which is LSF Sanctuary LLC at Etsy, all that information is down below. But if you go on and you purchase anything, make sure that you put in Matrix Minds. But here's the key. Make sure that you're doing it in capital letters, because I've had a couple of people who came back and said they did not get a discount. And that was because most likely they did not do it in capital letters. So it has to be in caps in order for that Matrix Minds 20% off discount to come through if you're purchasing something from me through the Etsy shop. Now, with that also being said, over the last couple of months, I've started to realize that there's a lot of people who don't want readings, but aren't necessarily at a blueprint level or an astrology level, but they do need a little bit of mentoring, just a little bit of help tweak them in the right direction, set them in the right stuff. So I have started to create, and you will be able to find that on my Facebook page. All of that information is down below as well, because this is not on the Etsy shop, where I am offering 1 hour shamanistic consultations and mentoring for up to 1 hour. And I believe it's $38. So, and all that information, like I said, is down below. But because not everybody wants a reading, sometimes they just need help figuring some stuff out, or walking their path, or understanding something, helping to tweak a situation a little bit better for their own resolve, for their own work. So I want to make sure that I'm throwing that out there. The mentoring and the consultation is not on my Etsy shop yet. You can only purchase that right here through Facebook and through me directly. So you'll have to go to my Facebook page or pages, and then you could definitely we could take care of that. We can book you an hour appointment and so forth. But I wanted to throw that out there, because I'm seeing where a lot of people are needing that help. And then again, if you go to the Etsy shop, which is LSF Sanctuary LLC, make sure that you are putting in Matrix Minds all caps. And then you could get your 20% off when you purchase. Not everything is on sale there with the 20% off, but a lot is. And I do have, like I said, specially formulated mystical oils, essential oils, kits, sprays, baths, all kinds of things. And I created all of that with spirit, as well as I have fulgurite in every single oil. So that's definitely something that's going to help boost that energy. Now, let's get back to breaking the cage after I have another drink of my water. Because, all right, you have Mars, which is now in his home sign, which is Aries. You have Venus, which is now in her home sign, which is Taurus. So this is going to start to bring about a little bit of a balance if you're in a balanced area. If not, it's going to shake up stuff in you, trying to push you into a more level of a balanced area. And the reason I'm saying that is you have to understand Venus is the ruler of Taurus, but Taurus on a universal scale is the ruler of the second house, which is the ruler of your money house, which is the ruler of possessions. Now, when I say possessions, I mean like small possessions that help you be the best you could be. Certain people are like, certain chicks are like, I need that crystal and it's going to be in my bra, period. That's it. And I need that in order to go through life. Certain people are very much, like their glasses. I need this in order to do stuff. People look at their cell phones in this idea. Without my cell phone, I feel naked. What are the things, the small possessions that help you be you? And without them, you're kind of not quite right. Okay. Like for me, I have Hickomer diamonds in my dreads, and I have orgone in my dreads, which are also to help protect my zeal point and my third eye and help me on that level. They're sewn right in, so I don't have to worry about it anymore. But I'm saying there's certain things that people have that help them get on that point. Now, I want you to understand, as we're looking at this Venus concept being in Taurus, she's the ruler of it, which is the ruler of the possessions that make you feel good about yourself. But that leads you back to law of attraction. This is speaking to you about your self-worth, your self-value, your self-esteem. And if you're not feeling good and strong about yourself, you're not feeling secure about who you are, being in your own skin, the life you are living, the character that you are, you're not identifying with yourself in the healthiest of ways, then Venus at this point is going to have to really start kind of pushing down on you. And this is why I'm saying it, because you're going to see memes all over the place of, how, Venus now in Taurus is going to make everything all lovey-dovey and wooey, wooey, wooey. No, it can be if you are really in that place. However, the idea is Venus is going to be touching on value and trust. Starting with what you don't like to identify in yourself. Now, hear me. Venus is also connected with what is called the morning star. But the morning star is also connected to what is called Lucifer. So this is also speaking to you directly of illuminating your shadow self. Illuminating those parts of yourself that you're scared of, illuminating those parts of yourself that you lock up, that you hide away, getting to where you're loving that, you're accepting yourself on all levels, and you're bringing self-worth, self-value, self-esteem back to you through the healing of the sensitivity of what Venus is bringing. Like I said, she will touch base then on the law of attraction, which then forces manifestation. All right. So if you're not feeling good, secure about yourself, then it's going to cause a kink in your manifestation. It's going to cause a kink in the manifestation that's going to start with the self-worth, self-value, self-esteem. being more naive versus being liberated. Feelings, like I said, these feelings of security. But then it starts to branch from your personal character into your life, into the way that you create your energy around you, and right down to the way you bring and create and spend your money on those very little possessions that help you be you. This is why I always say with Venus, this is why I always say, you know, especially right now with Uranus in Taurus. Uranus is all about independence, individuality, uniqueness, freedom, and then we add the self-value, self-esteem. But you're taking Uranus, which is not in its most strongest point here. You're adding Venus on top of it. And if I'm always saying, if you're not in your power, someone or something else will be, because it rules that law of manifestation. It rules that law of attraction. It rules the possessions that you bring to you to help you feel secure and strong within your own skin and your own life. And when you're not feeling that, you ultimately become the possession. And this is where you're going to start seeing people, or you may have been already since Mars moved into Aries, getting very entitled, very aggressive, very know-it-all, kind of push and shove. I will get what I want and I need it this way, or you know, like I'll throw the book at you, and really just acting out. And that's really what that is. That is more of an aggressive act out, because a true warrior with wisdom, a true, you know, in their power person knows that they don't have to lash out at people and act like, you know, they're being attacked. The only reason you're feeling attacked is because of the insecurity. If you're in your strength, you can't be attacked. You can't be knocked down. I said no. That's the end of it. I'm not going to do what I don't want to do in life. If you're understanding where I'm going with this, the masculine and the feminine are trying to balance out in your head, because on the blueprint level, this is speaking of all of these energies still taking place within the third eye, the eyes, the ears, the zeal point, the throat, mainly right in through here, but we're starting to slowly come down now into the chest and into the chakras of the sacral chakra and the solar plexus. So you're really starting to work on if you are thinking properly about how you want to view the world around you. If you get up every day and you're in a job that you hate, and you're having to go out and like, this is what I'm left having to settle for. You know, this is where we're at now. This is what I'm going to be looking forward to. Well, then that's exactly what you'll continue to get. That's what I'm trying to get through right now, is that manifestation from Venus is under a little bit of scrutiny because of these energies of what's going on. She's really being pushed into touching base, going in, digging deep with deep, dark precision into the areas where you're not being upfront and truthful with your own character, with your own responsibilities, with your own life and responsibility of your vibration. And where are you in denial of? Where do you keep making the same self-sabotage so that you're not noticing it? She's having no choice but to really start to look at the truth, the honesty, and your value. And then what are you valuing of yourself? Dignity, liberation. Do you have it? What's standing in between you and it? Why are you giving it power? And then we start to branch out into our otherworldly energies, you know, like the work, the job, the money, the friends, our relationships. But it starts at home with ourselves. And if you can't put proper value on yourself, then what you're doing is being submissive, which is ultimately leading you to be the possession of something or someone else's arsenal. You know, like for at work or something, I had a reading earlier today where, you know, the person has been overworked, overwhelmed, doing too much, hasn't had a day off in forever. Well, she's getting one day off, but she's just overwhelmed, exhausted. And I'm like, you're going to have to put your foot down. I'm like, you weren't born for that. You know, this is what I'm saying. When are you going to start valuing you, loving you, being responsible to you? Because that's the way that Venus is going to make this manifestation work for you, not work against you, because she'll be showing you the error of your ways by making you even more uncomfortable at this time if you are working against yourself. Other than that, then Venus definitely is going to help you bring your money up to speed. She'll definitely get your manifestation going in the right way. But if you've got to be working her the right way, and then step into that Mars with Jupiter energy and work that the right way, action. But if you're not there, this is why they're saying you need to slow down. And if you need help, this is the time to ask for it. Like I said, we had all of those energies, the eclipse and all these planets moving, and it's been you know, going on. And what this really is, you've heard so many, I'm sure, memes and different things too, going, you know, it's go time. And that, you know, this is the direction for the next 6 months. But let me help you really brighten your eyes to a bigger story of what's going on here in the astrology. All you're doing right now for this 6 months is setting your ducks in the proper row. You're setting your ducks in the proper row. This is the way the alignment is. You're going, what do I have to tweak? What do I have to correct? To start fixing that, because all of this is going to ride also on Jupiter, which is going to be moving back into that 12th house of Pisces somewhere around Halloween, and then through the holidays, and then come back again into the first house. So this is, let me get my ducks in a row. Let me start making the adjustments, taking the proper actions to get my life where I want it to be, to redirect for the next 6 months. But then again, come October, when Jupiter goes back into Pisces, he's going to readdress what you've been addressing and going, nope, this is still wrong. Nope, this is still wrong. Nope, I'm going to adjust this. Nope, I'm going to adjust this. Or I'll put you right back into a further level of denial. And the whole point is, when he finally moves next year into Aries for good, you don't want to be redoing everything you're doing now because you fucked off. I'm sorry, but this is about making sure that you're loving yourself right, you're having the value right, you're setting the manifestation right, you're putting you're redirecting the blueprint for the vibration to move up, you're redirecting the foundation, so that next year it's all going in very healthy ways. But this is just getting my ducks in a row to take a higher level of inventory and see what I really am still in denial of come October, November, December. So this is a go time, but not a go time in the way most people think. This is slow down, think it logically, understand how to manifest through the mind by understanding how to think it properly, how to see it properly. If you're not seeing the world around you that you like, stop focusing on what you don't like. Start focusing on what you do want. Stop breathing in what isn't comfortable and making yourself settle for what you really don't want, because that is the value system in which you are really starting to play these games with right now. This is where the game is going on how we manifest, and it's going to be super freaking quick, people. Like I said, you also still have, energies coming on into the sacral chakra as we start to move down through the esophagus and stuff. But most importantly, this week you have Cancer. No, I'm sorry. Most importantly, this week, as we come to the end of the week, as we're going like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you're going. The moon is going from Cancer and Leo, and we'll be moving through Cancer and Leo at that point. And this is going to be directly chest energy, heart energy, life force energy. The moon represents your mood swings, but it also represents your emotional endeavors. And with it in Cancer and Leo, it's going to be shifting and paying attention to all of this. Mercury retrograde still. It's still going to be paying attention to this Jupiter and Mars on top of each other, putting super abundance into our thinking process and how we want to analyze what we want to do. What I want it right now, and try and slow down. It is going to be coming into the energies of the chest and the heart. And this is getting into, are you attacking yourself? Or are you reviving yourself? And you're going to start acknowledging where your Venus and your Mars is playing according to the way you're feeling. All right. Now let me get into the actual astrology this week. I'm going to start off with the sextiles. Sextiles are technically a very positive energy. It's opportunities that are there if they are chosen, if you choose to take them, and if you choose to take the assignment and move forward, then it is there. But the problem with sextiles are, the more sextiles we get, the more comfortable we get, and then we kind of miss the point. We think that the opportunity is there, but it's not anymore. Now, you have Neptune, which is in your 12th house. Again, Neptune is magic. It's the magic of your soul and your spirit. The ability of your spirit to rebirth again and again and again. It is the magic of and the spiritual ability to heal your own self. It's the ability to have magic and to breathe it into your life and to be able to really tap in to 5D and higher, not just this three-dimensional world, but it's also the ability to get stuck in the negative thinking and keep yourself in that delusional idea and telling yourself the same old habit. Neptune, that soul magic, if you're using it right, is speaking to Pluto. That's the outer world, the authority over you. And I do say over you because in one form, it is, your jobs, it's the political arena, it's areas that you don't necessarily have power over. You have power over your own life and what you will and will not do in that part of that political arena or that outer world's arena. But it still is going to continue to operate with or without you. So it's, what are you going to allow to be the authority in your life based from that? Are you going to speak up right now and breathe that magical transformation into your life? Are you going to breathe in the healing and then being able to speak it with authority? No, I am not going to do this. I'm not going to accept this. I'm not going to settle for this. Like I said, it's your honor, your reputation, your prestige on a universal level with Pluto, which is death, decay, and destruction for renewal, rebirth, and regeneration. There is absolutely nothing here other than you standing in your way of believing that you could actually make anything come into manifestation this week. You can start to breathe it into manifestation. You can start to reset the foundation of something if you are breathing it, believing it, seeing it, knowing it here in your 3D, 5D, higher, in your third eye, speaking it to yourself, A big part of your manifestation is your thoughts and what you speak to yourself, how you talk to yourself. So are you talking to yourself in ways that's going to help manifest it into the reality you want outside of just you, but into that outer world and into the authority of showing you now have authority in that outer world? This is a glorious event. But if you don't believe in yourself right now, if you are insecure, then you will naively get trampled on because someone else will be using that energy. I'm just trying to make sure you understand where I'm coming from, because that energy is also speaking to Mars and Jupiter in that first house of the character, trying to push around your character, trying to dictate your character to you. Or are you in the power of your character? Are you going to choose how you view the world? Are you going to settle for how the world wants to tell you you will view it? This is definitely a time, Jupiter's manifestation too, according to how you're seeing the world, because it's in your head, it's in your eyes, it's in the third eye. It's the way that you're seeing the world around you, the way you're feeling the world around you, the way you're communicating the world around you. And are you communicating your individual self-expression, your deeper reasoning for being here, what you need? Or are you, kind of in the submissive, I'll take what I have to take, because this is not the time to be submissive, people, but it's not the time to be an aggressive lion that's acting like you're going to attack either, because that's not going to work either. This is a moment of wisdom. This is a moment of transformation and true clarity of how you make it work, as well as learning how you're not making it work, so that you can then make it work. Now, you also have Uranus, which is speaking with Mercury, which is your independence, your individuality, your uniqueness, your freedom, your self-worth, your self-value, your self-esteem. Your Mercury retrograde, communicating negatively, most likely, to yourself, too much head chatter, and that North Node. Everything you need to learn in order to move forward about standing in your power, doing it in healthy ways, doing it in secure ways to make you feel it, believe it, know it, see it, manifest it, is speaking to Neptune. Everything is here to give you the power to completely shift. If you could be in that positive thinking, if you could talk yourself into it, if you can manifest the money right now by, I got money in the bank, people, you just keep telling yourself it, and start believing it, breathing it into existence instead of settlement, submissiveness. It's the worst things for you at this moment. Everything that you want is here if you believe in you. Venus, which is also in that second house now, ruling that Mercury retrograde, ruling that Uranus, ruling the head chatter, ruling the independence, individuality, uniqueness, freedom, inventive self, bringing it out, find the creative you, breathing it and showing it to the world by believing in you first. She's speaking to Lilith and Ceres, saying, it's freaking time. Nurture the crap out of me. Nurture the crap out of me, because if you don't, you'll lose it. See, because Lilith in Cancer, Lilith is a fire energy. She helps you ask where your fire is. She can be a bit on the egotistical level, but that's because she wants you to love yourself. And in Cancer, she's not very strong. This is her submissive energy spot. This is where she needs to remember she can be independent. She can love herself right. She has the power. She can take it back. And this is part of that lesson she's bringing to you now. If you can love yourself and nurture yourself by showing yourself areas that you neglect and then overcoming them, turning them around threefold, put it into the positive direction, you're going to be golden. But you have to believe it. You have to breathe it. You have Chiron also in the first house, how you're viewing the world around you, your character, your identification, how you see the world and yourself, as well as how the world is seeing you. Chiron's the wounded healer of going, oh, this is where I can't seem to get it right. This is where I mess up. This is where I trip and fall. No, 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 no. You have Mars and you have Jupiter here. If you can get out of that mindset, you can be abundant. If you can get out of that mindset, you can become that wisdom of that warrior fighter of Starfleet that I'm always trying to talk to you about. You'll be stepping into a new dimensional energy. You'll be shifting your DNA. You'll be shifting realms. Timeline changes people. Chiron is what's going to, Chiron and that Mercury retrograde are going to be the ones that are going to be going, are you sure? Maybe, I don't know, maybe, and trying to trip you up. You can't let that happen. Chiron's the wounded healer for a reason. He's great at pointing it out on everybody else, but not on himself. Chiron, though, is sextiling the sun, your inner Jekyll and Hyde, your inner truth of your shadow and your light. So if you bring your shadow to the light right now, this is the best things that's going to happen for you to redirect everything in the most abundant of ways, putting your ducks in a row and starting to reset the direction. Yes, like I said, in October and November, you're going to have some kinks because you're going to be going back over some more areas that you've been in denial and submissive to, that you've been hiding underneath the closet, underneath the rug. But this is the time to really start to redirect those energies. And then it's just taking inventory and cleaning up when you get into the holidays, instead of, holy crap, hitting the gut and really thrash you, because you don't want Jupiter going back into Pisces, being in denial, throwing everything at you all at once, and then you're living in a real delusional world that you can't breathe into reality. This is your chance to actually bring it in, start breathing it into fruition. It'll take a while for that manifestation in the long run to show itself. This is why I kept saying to you those last 2 weeks, chocolate. I kept using chocolate as in, you want to play the long game here, people. You do not want to play, let me have that ecstasy right now. I want what I want, but I want it right now because it'll make me feel good. Let me hold on to this because it'll make me feel good. But did it really solve the problem? Did it really heal the issue? No, it just made you get over the hump, but yet you're going to have to get over it again and again and again. This is not taking the piece of chocolate right now and having the false ecstasy, but playing the long game and creating it for real. And all the tools are here. The only thing that could possibly be in the way is you believing that the obstacle is more powerful than you. You have Pluto. Hold on, I gotta have another sip of my drink. You have Pluto, which is in that 10th house again. The outer world, the outer authority, your honor, your reputation, prestige, your social foundation, your financial money incoming. It is getting along with that Uranus. It is getting along with that Mercury retrograde. It is getting along with the North Node. So it's saying right here, if you believe, I'll give you the keys to open the door to try something new. But you got to be willing to walk through the door. If you're scared to walk through the door, then you're not going to go anywhere. You got to be willing to step into your personality, into your bringing your part to the table. And what do you have to show for it? Why do you want to believe in me? Why should I believe in you? Your honor, your reputation, your prestige. Not going into like, yes, I'm the shit and I'm better than everybody, da 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 da, but being able to show your worth because you believe in it, you know it. You're able to communicate that you're coming back into power for yourself. You feel invigorating. You feel illuminating. You get where I'm going? This is the energies of the direction that we want it to go so that you can walk through that door and start bringing it to that outer world. So it's not just in your head anymore, not just a manifestation, but it's actually touching the three-dimensional world. You're bringing that higher dimension back and bringing it in. Now here's your challenges. Ceres and Lilith, which is in that fourth house of your inner emotional security, of where you can easily get tripped up, be submissive, and neglect taking care of your inner emotional security. By not nurturing it, it is not getting along with Mars and Jupiter. Meaning, you might be feeling it, but if you don't take action to realize the action that must be taken at this time, you're going to go nowhere. It's going to do nothing. It's just going to be an ecstasy moment of that chocolate candy that felt really good and yay. And then, well, it took you nowhere. It did nothing for you. It just gave you a false illusion. This is saying if you want it, you got to go get it. You've got to start taking action. Slow down. Process properly, and then start taking action. Come into the speaking with authority. Showing the character of who you are because of where you've grown. Not because of feeling pushed up against the wall. Because like I said, this is aggressive warrior energy with Jupiter that can be abundance once you just lash out and attack. But lashing out and attacking isn't the way here. It's about coming with that seasoned veteran thinking, stepping into understanding how the energy works and make it work for you. You have Venus, which is the sensitivities, self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, law of attraction, money, finances, manifestation, is not getting along with Pluto. Meaning, yes, it's going to be uncomfortable to make some of these changes because you don't know what they're going to bring because you've never done it before. You've never stepped into this part of your power. You've never released that part of your power that's no longer working for you. What I'm saying is like, if you've been holding on to bad patterns, bad habits that aren't serving you, but you've never actually released them to allow something new to come in, then you're not going to know what that feels like. Venus is not love, people. She speaks to you about what is good for you, why it's good for you, and what's bad for you and why it's bad for you. She will tell you when you've been cheated on because that's why it hurt. That's Venus. She will tell you when you've been abused and abandoned because she's hurting you and showing you where that hurt. She's telling you where people have done you wrong and why, and don't let this happen to me, because she's reminding you this is what it sucks. This is what it feels like when we don't love ourselves and we accidentally let these things happen. But she also tells you when it makes you feel very good, how to communicate outwardly, how to communicate with yourself, and then tweak it to have what you want. Venus works on both sides of the spectrum here. And like I said, she can only create resurrection if you're speaking it, believing it, and feeling it. You have Mercury, Uranus, and that North Node, which are not getting along with Saturn. There's going to feel like the outer world may not necessarily agree, or you might be feeling like your groups and your memberships, your outer friends, the people in your life won't necessarily agree with the direction you're wanting to go. But if you don't try, how will you know? It may not necessarily work for everybody else, but are you going to still be submissive when it doesn't work for you? Remember, Saturn is in Aquarius right now, which is the 11th house. And this is saying that the people that you keep, the people, places, and things that you keep, these relationships that you keep, ultimately help you grow and manifest your goals, dreams, and ambitions. And if you can't believe or breathe, if you cannot believe or breathe energy into your goals, dreams, and ambitions, well, then are you breathing in them at all? Or are you breathing in somebody else's? Are you being manipulated? This is, like I said, not a time of submissive energy. This is saying, not saying that you have to have the whole cake and eat it too, but it is saying this area isn't working for me, so we need to do something about this. I'm willing to work in this area, but don't allow yourself to be submissive and naive and taken advantage of, because somebody will roll you down, because they're going to be standing in their power. So it's up to you to make sure you're creating your vibration, your manifestation, your self-love. This is one of the most powerful times you're going to have in this energy right now. And it's got so much good, but it's all up to you believing and feeling and knowing what you're knowing it in you, so that you can bring it into that fruition. Now, I am going to come back over what I was saying about the moon earlier this week, because the moon is definitely going to be tapping into some of that emotional mindset. And I want you guys to understand, for those of you who are still with me and following me here, the moon on the 1st, June 1st, is going to be going over Sirius and Lilith. This is where I said submissive energy and neglecting energy. If you're not nurturing it, you're neglecting it. Sirius is all about in Cancer, coming into your strengthening of your self-worth, your inner emotional security. Feeling secure in your skin, feeling secure in your body, feeling secure in your life, feeling secure and grounded, and that you are capable of breathing safe, and knowing that you are in your sovereign, feeling good in your body, and that you can't be separated. But you have Lilith and Sirius, which are already in this area going, well, are you nurturing me or are you neglecting me? I'm not really strong and standing in my independence here. I'm a little more submissive here. And then you got the moon coming in, getting all emotional with it. And it's not going to be getting along with Mars and Jupiter about taking action. Going to make you question and doubt yourself. You have to realize that's nothing more than a challenge to see if you've grown. On the 2nd, the moon is going to be over top of Chiron, the wounded healer, touching base on those levels of insecurity even more. All right? And then where is your head allowing you to continue to think these negative patterns that keep working against you? So you need to learn to tell yourself to shut up. No, we're not going to think this way. No, I'm going to avoid, cancel, delete. I'm going to redirect this in the most healthiest, positive way. It's taking control, taking the power back. I tell people all the time, too, like when you're trying to do meditation, sometimes you have the meditations where the whole meditation is just shut up. You're telling your head nothing. Shut up. Because you guys have to understand, the mind goes into overdrive. It has so much to do, that it doesn't know it gets a break unless you force it to take one. And it will give you false information because I'm trying to be so perfect. I'm trying to keep up. I'm trying to do this. I make the decisions for you, and part of that Mercury retrograde. How many times have you ever heard, like there's a sign on the wall and say the sign says, welcome to the house of blah, blah. But you read it, and if you really paid attention, it may have said, welcome to the house of, but your mind just was like, let's drop that first because I don't need you to read that. It's just, you're wasting my time. That's what the mind does. The mind is It has so much to be responsible for. It will actually give you false information. And sometimes you have to shut it up so that you can allow the heart and them to come into complete balance. And this is what you're going to be seeing a lot of right now, is where's the mind used to bad patterns, and we have to go, no, we got to correct these now. So you need to stop thinking this way, mind, and I need you to start thinking this way. And that's what I'm talking about when I tell you void, cancel, delete, redirect. On the 3rd, the moon is not getting along with Pluto as it's going into Leo. On the 4th, the moon is not getting along with anybody in Taurus. Independence, individuality, uniqueness, freedom, self-worth, self-value, self-esteem. Submissive, settle versus liberation, dignity. It's all up to you to teach your mind where the bad patterns are, to acknowledge where they are, and go, no. These patterns aren't going to continue anymore. I need you, mind, to realize we're redirecting this process here. And we're going to set it for a new, healthy way. But you have to train it. In a form, you're training your head to do higher vibrational work. I love you guys. Bye.